It's that time of the week. Week 4 is in the book, so it's time for rapid reaction for all 32 teams, all 16 games from NFL Week 4 here on 4 Verts. Right before we get to that, thank you so much. We crossed 3,000 subscribers here on the channel. Let's keep it rolling here on 4 Verts. And last week we got 29 subscribers on this rapid reaction video. If we want to do it again next week, we got to get 30 today. So subscribe for free and daily NFL and college football content. 10 minutes on the clock. Here we go. We start with Monday Night Football as Detroit took down Seattle 42-29. Jared Goff was literally perfect. 18 of 18, almost 300 yards, couple of touchdowns, caught a touchdown. This is the first week Detroit really looked like themselves offensively for a full 60 minutes. Ben Johnson was in his bag. Granted, Seattle had some injuries on defense, and that's why if I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Put up almost 30 points. Geno Smith was awesome, over 500 yards. Lions offense in midseason form. Defense needs a lot of work. Vikings 31, Packers 29. Sam Darnold is officially an MVP candidate. We'll see if he can keep this up, but through 4 weeks of the season, he is at or near the top of that list. Jordan Love in 2 games, 0-2. Malik Willis in 2 games, 2-0. Love's been a little erratic, putting up big numbers, but too many turnovers. Packers 2-2 on the year. Vikings 4-0. Chiefs 17, Chargers 10. Rashee Rice, serious injury. Still no official confirmation on if it's a torn ACL or not, so they're considering medical opinions there. Jim Harbaugh is coming. Got out to a 10-0 lead. Didn't have enough firepower in this one, but I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year or down the road. He will be a force to be reckoned with the LA Chargers. Ravens 35, Bills 10. Welcome back to the elite club, Baltimore. I know the record says 2-2. They look like a top 5 team in the NFL. Absolutely throttled Buffalo. Kind of feels like a one-off for the Bills, but does Buffalo need a true wide receiver one? I wonder if at the deadline they consider that because other than this game, they've looked fantastic, but against an elite defensive matchup, Josh Allen contained. No receivers were really getting consistent separation. Falcons 26, Saints 24. Young Ho ain't loyal? Well, Younghoe Koo is. 58-yard field goal at the gun. And for the Saints, second week in a row, explosive plays have disappeared. Got to get that offense back on track. They're 2-2. So are the Falcons. And all of a sudden, NFC South 3-team race with Tampa at 3-1. Bears 24, Rams 18. Welcome to Chicago. DeAndre Swift was a dud in 3 weeks, was one of the best players in the NFL in week 4, 165 total yards and a touchdown. Rams, too many injuries right now, too much to overcome. Can they hang around until some of these guys get healthy, or are they trade deadline sellers? We'll have to wait and see. Colts 27, Steelers 24. Anthony Richardson leaves with a hip injury, albeit not too serious. Joe Flacco, just like last year, plays well in relief, leads Indianapolis to a win. Justin Fields, 365 yards, 3 total touchdowns in the loss. Started slow. Steelers picked it up. They're still 3-1. Colts are 2-2. Sounds like Fields is going to stick as QB1 over Russell Wilson. Commanders 42, Cardinals 14. Jayden Daniels balling out. Heavy favorite to win Rookie of the Year so far. Are they the team to beat the NFC East? Hard to say just yet, but they do have the best record. Not sure if the defense is ready. Cardinals kind of feels like they're a year away. Had a nice one a couple of weeks ago. Now they're 1-3 and behind the 8 ball. Giving up 42 points at home, not a good look. Cowboys 20, Giants 15. Dallas in trouble on their defensive line. DeMarcus Lawrence to IR. Parsons set to miss a couple of weeks. That's a problem. Offense seems out of sorts as well. Giants, time to start learning NFL draft, buddy. Start evaluating some 2025 quarterbacks. Daniel Jones had multiple big play opportunities, doesn't have a strong enough arm. And with the injury guarantees he would have for next year, you got to wonder if you bench him soon to make sure he doesn't get hurt. Broncos 10, Jets 9. How do you win a game with Bo Nix throwing for 60 yards on the road? I don't know. Jets, this is a disastrous loss. Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh don't seem to be on the same page after the game. Saleh says maybe we're hard counting, relying on the cadence too much. Aaron Rodgers says, how about people just do their jobs? doesn't seem that ideal. They're 2-2. Broncos 2-2. Roller coaster continues for New York. Buccaneers 33. Eagles 16. Baker playing like a top 10 guy. They bounced back after a dreadful game a week ago. They're 3-1. Eagles fall to 2-2. Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, Jalen Hurts. That trio isn't working. I like what I've seen from Kellen Moore and their offense, but Jalen Hurts has 11 turnover-worthy plays through 4 weeks. That's 4 more than any other quarterback in the NFL. He's got to play better. Fangio's defense looks stale. This thing could unravel in Philadelphia potentially. Texans 24, Jags 20. Too close for comfort for Houston. Penalties kind of held them back in this game, but Stroud had a big game. And the C.J. Stroud-Nico Collins feels like arguably the top QB wide receiver pairing in the NFL right now. Nico Collins is on pace for like 120-plus catches and 2,000 yards. He's been fantastic. For the Jags, Trevor Lawrence still struggling, but he got paid. Doug Pederson, hot seat, buddy. It's not gonna go well, I don't think. And he's already getting contentious with reporters. 0-4, only winless team in the NFL. Clock is ticking, just like it is on this video. Raiders 20, Browns 16. Pretty resilient win for Antonio Pierce's club. He called out players saying guys were making business decisions last week. They come back home, beat a Cleveland team 20-16. And listen, I got to give credit where credit is due. I don't think Deshaun Watson's very good anymore, but he actually played fairly well in this game, and Amari Cooper let him down on multiple occasions. Had a drop that would have been a big gain that got picked off, didn't block a dude on a play that should have resulted in a long touchdown, and had a couple of other miscues. He's got to play better. I wonder if one foot's out the door. Does he get traded to the Chiefs? I wouldn't rule it out. Titans 31, Dolphins 12. Will Levis injured after an awful pick in the first quarter. Do you just stick with Mason Rudolph? I get he only went 9 for 17 for 85 yards, but this Levis thing is a train wreck. They got their first win without him. I think that's noteworthy. And speaking of disasters, without Tua Tagovailoa, Miami is a joke. Mike McDaniel has to be questioned at this point. Continues to get cute on 3rd and 4th and short. If Tua's not playing, they can lose to anybody. They really can. I don't like how that's trending. We'll see if he's ready to roll in a couple of weeks after his IR stint. But, man, they are on the verge of collapse here, it would appear. Bengals 34, Panthers 24. Had to have it win. Got it. Cincinnati did. They're on the board, 1-3 on the season. Joe Burrow, he's been pretty good. He hasn't been the reason, at least since week 1, that they've been losing games. And, gosh, if you're Cincinnati, you look back. How do you lose to New England in week 1? You could be 2-2 and you'd be fine. For the Panthers, they're more competitive with Andy Dalton. They're a formidable team. I would say this. They don't feel like the number 1 pick right now in the draft. Like, the Giants feel worse. The Dolphins without Tua feel worse. The Patriots feel worse. So, yeah, I think they're playing better under Dave Canales these last couple of weeks. 49ers 30, Patriots 13. Nice bounce back for San Francisco after blowing that game against the Rams. They improved to 2-2. Last 2 weeks, we've seen it. The Patriots play hard. They're just not very talented. Jacoby Brissett, I'm not sure if we've seen a sacrificial lamb like this since David Carr. And Gerard Mayo doubled down this week saying Jacoby's the starter, and he needs to be because Drake May will get killed behind this offensive line. You got to keep trotting Jacoby out there. It's just what's best for the future of the franchise. And the number 1 pick is absolutely in play there. And the beauty of the Patriots is they don't need a quarterback. So if you get the number 1 pick, you can do what the Bears did a couple of years ago, trade back for a haul, load up, draft multiple offensive linemen, but they don't look great. And for the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey made his little trip to Germany to get some sort of injection for his Achilles. Found out this week, double Achilles tendonitis, both feet. That is not an ideal situation. So definitely going to keep an eye on that one as well. And just before we get out of here, as we kind of run out the clock here, week 4 rapid reaction in 10 minutes or less. 29 of 32 teams between 1 and 3 wins. So a lot of teams bunched up in the middle there. 2 4-0 teams. That would be the Chiefs in the AFC and the Vikings in the NFC. We already mentioned the Jags at 0-4 in the AFC. You get a month into the year with the new training camps and preseason, teams not being that physical and playing that much. The first month for a lot of teams is kind of preseason, feeling things out, and now teams start to hit their stride as we get into the month of October. We'll see teams start to separate which teams are going to be trade deadline buyers, which teams are going to be trade deadline sellers. NFL hot seat talk. I'll probably have an early season check-in, hot seat status coming up this week. So be sure to subscribe to the channel for that. But we're already almost a quarter of the way done. 4 weeks down, September in the books. It's spooky season in the month of October. We'll see which teams can rise to the occasion and emerge as playoff contenders. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to follow our 4Verts Instagram page. We have more NFL and college football content over there at 4VertsIG on Instagram. And, of course, here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. My name is Harrison Graham. NFL Week 4 in the books. We are on to Week 5. We will be back very soon for more football content. So until then, enjoy your day.